right, so because our normal chairman is not here this evening, I will be calling the meeting to order. That was fun. Sorry. And now we have to, I guess, have a vote to determine who will actually chair the meeting.
I move that Andrew Grimes is chair for tonight's meeting.
Seconded.
Any commentary? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Oh, unanimous. All right. So first thing is any public comment? Okay. No one here. So we're going to discuss the policy on lending to residents of municipalities with decertified libraries.
So we did a quick background search on this. Wakefield and Melrose do have policies about not lending to residents of decertified libraries. We also checked the other towns bordering Stoneham, which are Winchester, Woburn, Medford, and Malden, and we could not find any policies. We can dig deeper and contact their actual library staff. But to that point, I just wanted to say that it looks like right now Stoneham, they think they have enough money to stave off decertification, maybe getting a waiver. They're still under threat. But, and also Linfield looks like they passed an override, so they may be all set as well. So it's still an urgent issue. I mean, it's still an issue, it's just not an urgent issue. And you're welcome to discuss it today. You could, if you want to wait for Cappy and Pat, you could defer it. Or if you have any other things that you would like us to research, we could do that as well.
I think it's worth waiting for Cappy and Pat to have a real discussion on this.
Move to table.
Is this an issue that's cropped up as of yet? You know, not the neighboring libraries have officially been decertified.
No, no one's been decertified. Right now, what looked like Stoneham was going to be decertified. So now we just think that it will be, possibly they'll get a waiver, which is different. And we started to discuss last week, like once you get the waiver or once you are decertified, how long it takes you to get back into the certified status. So it's something that's not taken lightly. Ours came online in, I think it was 2003, or it might be on that in the packet.
2002, yeah.
2002, and I believe it was another Noble library that was decertified, and I don't think we had a policy prior to that. So it was sort of in response intentionally, and you can go either way on that. So,
And if they were to be decertified, Stoneham or another library, is that effective July 1?
yes, sort of. Certification actually doesn't come out until usually November or December, so they technically would be having access, but once they're decertified, it takes a long time to come out. So they'd have to finish out that year, do another year being certified before they'd be eligible again. So it's not necessarily a July 1st because we don't know July 1st what their certification status is.
Okay.
But they do notify us. Well, even if the waiver is granted, no, they are not. If you receive a waiver, you've been given a pass, and so a waiver is good. Waiver is a good thing.
Yeah, we could probably share one. Here, what?
Yep, we can.
Really? Okay.
We'll make it work. Do you see any issue in us tabling this for this meeting?
No, I don't think so. My only thing is if there's anything you want us to research, you could, or a specific library, you want us to look at, we could definitely do that. So you don't have to do that this meeting. You could send an email just to me or Megan or Michelle saying, hey, can you see can you give so-and-so a call and see what the status is there?
I think, Amy, there is something I have on the top of my head is for the libraries that you said do have policies in place. I'd like to also understand what they do about programming, not just borrowing of materials, but what they do about access to programming.
Yeah, to be clear, those libraries I mentioned, Winchester, Woburn, Medford, and Malden have no policy.
No, the ones you mentioned,
Oh,
that do
there's
Wakefield.
Wakefield and Melrose. I will dig in deeper about programming and other services.
Yeah, so those other libraries you said you called and they don't even.
No, they just don't have it on their website, but we will follow up with a call.
Okay, great.
So it seems important, excuse me, to me, that our policies do match those of Melrose and Wakefield going forward. That would sort of head off. some
Yeah, I
confusion.
mean, Melrose and Wakefield are in our consortium. It's possible there's something, because Winchester, Woburn, Medford, and Malden, I believe, are all in Minuteman. So there may be something within the Minuteman network that we're not familiar with.
Okay,
But that's why I'll give them a call.
thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Motion to table.
Second.
Discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. All right, Library Terrace update.
Yeah, this is mine. So I just wanted to give you a quick update. We've been working with Activitas. They had, the landscape committee worked and sent, and we've signed and approved a proposal for them to do the landscape design process. And once they got going, it's going pretty quickly. Next Thursday night, May 22nd at 7 o'clock, there's going to be an open forum on the Library Terrace project. So we'll be inviting the community and probably hand delivering some invites to our local abutters to come sort of see where the project stands, see if there's any additional feedback. This is on top of additional meetings and surveys that had been done for, about over a period of a year. So it's sort of a last call of any other thoughts. We'll also invite the foundation, probably send an invite to the friends, just other stakeholders that might be interested. Again, this project is funded through the Reading Public Library Foundation. After that meeting in late May, they hope to actually have bid documents ready by late June, with bid opening in mid-July, construction going on starting in September and hopefully ending in December. So they have a very ambitious, very tight schedule. Ryan Percival, who's the town engineer, is working very closely with them and is managing things like the minor site plan review with CPDC. He's overseeing, all the engineering side of things. So we basically just have to sit back and let them drive the cart.
Amy, I'd love to see us set aside a little bit of money to be able to have a plaque that says, this is a gift of the Reading Public Library Foundation. Just something that recognizes that gift. I think a lot of people are very generous to the foundation and know sort of large scale that the money is being used for great library things, but it would be nice to see something noted for them. I mean, the foundation does a lot of great work. It would just be really nice to know, to give them that recognition.
I think it's a great point, actually. They donated money when they donated after the building was done. It was in benefit of basically these rooms. For example, we used it to purchase chairs to upgrade the AV system.
Right.
And one of the things was they had the option for naming this room and they chose not to. And so I think it is time to recognize the amount of funds and big projects that we do put their logo on some things like the book bike and I think on the lockers, but I think it would be nice to have a plaque or something
Yeah.
that really just said,
Yeah, it doesn't need to be over the top, but I just think something, something nice. That just would be nice.
I can tell the designers that we'll pay for that separately.
Thank you.
Financial report?
So soon. It's a short meeting. Bear with me. Okay, so the budget passed. It was a little bit slow at the beginning, but we kind of went through it. There were very few, there were actually no challenges or questions to the library budget. So I was very pleased. It was the second year in a row that our increase was at 3.6% over the previous year. I will say that I don't think that's going to happen again. We'll be facing some tighter budgets in the next couple of years. But it's also just a good time to remind you that our budget is 1.5% of the total town budget and 6% of the municipal government side of things. So kind of gives you a scale. What else do we have? And that's pretty much it for finances. Other than we're doing fine this year, we're looking to, just finish off the year and if we can, return some cash if we can. And if we can't, then we'll use our supplemental funds.
Any discussion? All right, director's report.
Couple things I wanted to mention. Okay. First of all, I put at the top a reference to opening up the patio this summer, and we just got in some new furniture. It's some nice recycled polywood furniture. It's like a kid's picnic table and some Adirondack chairs and a regular table. So the patio is going to be much more welcoming, and it will be open. We're still sort of finalizing what those hours are. There's right now we're trying to keep it fairly loose and sort of today it's open and tomorrow it's not. It's obviously a barely 3-season patio. So we're trying to determine, does it stay open after dark? Once it starts getting darker in the day, there's not really any lighting out there. Do we have to invest in lighting? Does it close at sunset? Who's responsible for closing it? That kind of thing. The biggest impact is on the children's room. 2 things of note is we have promised the children's room they are not responsible for policing that. If it's going to close at 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock, then the custodian will lock that and be responsible for that. And that it is not children's only. It is a space that you have to kind of go through the children's room to get to. But if you are a solo adult or a solo teen and you want to go sit on the patio and enjoy some space outside, you're totally welcome to do that. And by the same token, people with young children shouldn't be letting their kids just willy-nilly run around. It's not really part of the children's room. But it's really exciting. It's been 8 years. We haven't really had it open to the public, but it's looking really nice. If you have a chance to go up there and look through the windows, we have brand new wheelchair accessible or accessible planters that Megan White is using with her plant lab, and they're planting herbs and vegetables and things like that. So it's a really nice space. And, if you have any thoughts, we don't have any policies per se on any of our other spaces, so I don't foresee having to need a policy. But if you have any thoughts or concerns, you should feel free to send me those thoughts and concerns. Just as a reminder, we're open till 9 Monday through Thursday. We close at 5 on Friday and Saturday. We live in New England, and once daylight savings kicks in or stops, it gets dark early. And cold early. It would definitely not be open any time that it was below a certain temperature. I think we would just automatically close it. It would also be closed when there were actual children's programs running out there, or if there was an adult program, it would be not closed, but it would be only for if you were attending the program. So that kind of thing. But if you have thoughts about that with whether safety and security, or whether it's just an idea of how to make sure that it's not a burden on the staff, please send them to me and we'll hopefully get something in place. It's going to be a soft launch. I think we just might open the door and say now open and see who uses it. Maybe take a few pictures, put it up on social media, but we're very excited about it.
Do any of our existing cameras we have in the building face out that way or anything? No.
No, no, we don't have any cameras in that area. We don't have any cameras in that area. I could probably ask, would you like me to ask? See if it's, how much it would cost to add a
Mm.
camera?
Yeah, that would probably be so that somebody can sort of police it from downstairs or something.
Actually, those are all, we don't have access to those
Oh,
cameras.
that's right, you don't do
So they're, what do you call them? They're not preventative, they're forensic. They're forensic, so they're used for afterwards.
Probably less pressing.
I can still look, I can still just inquire about it, but, so you have some, so you have some information. Just another comment about the studio, if you haven't been up there, the new exhibit, is a student exhibit from the high school. The students, in an art, I think it's a series of art classes, researched endangered and threatened species in Massachusetts alone. And then they created, using recycled materials, artwork representations of those animals. It was just a really great project. It's been really exciting. It's the third exhibit in as many months that we've had up in the studio. And then we have another fourth one coming up for June, and I think probably in through to July, with one of our presenters who'll be teaching a class on comic drawing and things like that. So please stop by and see it. It's really lovely. The kids did a lot of research. I also wanted to just give a shout out. I kind of highlighted the mid-year Rooted in Reading project. This is an LSTA funded grant. Grants such as this might not happen in the future if IMLS funding is cut. So that's just to let you know, we have used $20,000. We're actually more than halfway done with those funds. We're into already using in-kind funds that we use, whether it's Friends programming money or whether it's our collection money to help support this initiative. The idea is that we become a place where you think of, when you think of Reading, you think of a green community. And when you think of the library, you think of green community and Reading. So it's sort of all enmeshed in one. So we've done a really fantastic job, I think, of working with some partners and creating links, not where the library is necessarily the center, but creating links between other groups and getting them to work, helping them work together. Sarah Kelso, who's our librarian too in public services, has done a great job spearheading it. But it is a project, it is a grant that's really run across our divisions at multiple levels. It's been really, if you've been outside, the front garden is looking really nice, I think. We have some sensory plants there as well as native gardens. We have a lot of plants inside that are now being maintained by Enviro Greenery. We've added to our collection. The seed library has been a smashing success. We used to have it housed up in the children's room. It was difficult to find, and this year it's just really taken off, and they can barely keep it filled. I mean, I think that will slow down, obviously, now that it's past seed season. Let's see, 49 programs already. We only promised to do 26. Or 16 or something, some small number, but we have by far surpassed that. Then the things were, the tree planting that we did, we had over 100 people show up on our rainy Saturday and plant trees. We planted 200 trees. We had hoped to plant 500, but only 200 came in. The other 300 did show up, and DPW went out and planted the other 300. They were, I can't say enough great things about that program, but we are going to do it again and again and again and again until the 100th birthday of the town forest. We learned a lot. We're having a debrief meeting next week, so we're pretty excited about that. So I just included some of the feedback that we'd gotten. Sarah and her programming crew are doing a very simple feedback loop after all the programs. And I think it's like a 3-question thing, like, did you like it? Did you learn anything? And any comments? It's fairly simple. It gets some really good feedback. And so I just included some of the comments that she's gotten from here. Any questions about the Rooted in Reading grant, the Dig In grant? No, I have to say the value for what we're getting and the excitement that we have for them from the staff being involved is, I don't want to say not invaluable, but adds to the value of this. You could have a grant project that doesn't affect as many departments and or teams, and it's kind of just running along on the side. But this is something that's really front and center library wide, and people are really excited. So it's been a great project for us. Finally, some highlights and things to look forward to. And one other thing to discuss, MLA conference, as Michelle mentioned, is down in Falmouth this year. We're sending about six people, I think. Megan, does that sound right? 8 people, about 8 people. Actually, and in addition to leadership positions, we have people that are presenting as well. So it's actually a really great representation from a library, for our library. Summer reading is going to be kicking off. Summer Sizzlers is coming, I think it's June 13th. It's a Friday. The Juneteenth festival will be Saturday, the 21st. Michelle has worked on procuring new shelving for our Library of Things, and kudos to Michelle. This is not an easy thing. These are lockers, not like our other lockers. They are different lockers. They are not electronic. We don't require any data. They are just old-fashioned lockers with locks on them. But finding sizes, these will go, I don't know if you remember where the express books were, but they're sort of across from the self-checkout station. So right now there's some regular shelving there, and these lockers, there'll be a set on one side and a set on the back side. This involved a lot of careful measuring. It involved getting quotes after tariffs came in, getting, and running everything through the procurement department. Am I correct in saying that some of the prices were changed after? Yes, that's so. So we were able to lock in what we think is a very good price. So there's a purchase order for that coming in. And a portion of that, not a large portion, but a portion of that will be used with grant funds to help house the Library of Things. And then the rest will come from our general, I think it's from our general gifts. It's either gifts or state aid. The next thing are the trustee dates. So I think unintentionally, or I accidentally put in June 9th as the next meeting. If you look at the schedule that we approved last year, we actually said June 16th, June 16th, which is the third Monday instead of the second Monday. I did check with our town clerk, and it doesn't matter. You can pick either day. But if it makes any difference, the room is reserved for June 16th. And there's not a lot of space on June 9th. So we could just say this is an error in the director's report and the meeting is on the 16th. But if everyone has it on the second Monday and you can't attend on the third Monday, this might be a good time to talk about that. So is there a difference between the 9th and the 16th for any of you?
I don't think there's a difference for me. Was it something pertaining to Juneteenth being the week of the 16th?
No, I think we just put the wrong date down and everybody put their hand up and voted, sure, let's have it on the, because we do that in June. We set that and I did actually, when I was talking with Laura Jem about this, I said, is this something we have to do according to a bylaw? And because we CC the town clerk and we CC the town manager. And she's like, no, I'm not sure why you have to do that. But it also may be that our meetings have often conflicted with things like town meeting. And so maybe it was just sort of done as courtesy to say that we recognize, et cetera. But it does help us normally because we know what the meeting dates are all in advance. And if you ever wanted to say, agree to cancel a meeting, like not meet in August or something like that, or not meet in December, you as a group could decide that. But you could also decide that on an ad hoc basis.
I have no issue with the 16th.
No issue for me either.
I would probably have to attend by Zoom,
Or which date?
June 9th.
What about the 16th?
I'm more likely to be available in person.
Okay.
but Happy to do either.
16.
I think we'll keep the 16th and just say that Amy made an error in the director's report.
Amy
And-
doesn't make errors.
But it does bring up does bring up the June meeting. The June meeting is when we set the library closing holiday calendar for the next calendar year. So for 2026, January through December, we'll present a list of proposed dates. Some of these are federal holidays and we're closed. I guess technically you could decide to be open on a holiday. And some of them are traditional closings like clinic closing the day before Thanksgiving at 1 o'clock. The board, I mean, I'll say this again in next month, but you obviously could change any of that. You could add or take away any of those dates. So you'll do the calendar year 2026 holiday schedule. You do the fiscal year 2026 trustee schedule, and it's also when you vote or re-vote in officers. So that'll be something that Cappy has to do. He's the I guess it's in the bylaws, but he puts forth a slate of officers to be considered. So he may be in touch with any or all of you in the next few weeks. But June's generally and plus then we'll do the summer reading update as well, a summer programming update. So June is generally a very packed meeting. And other than always an interesting list of things that people are taking and doing for professional development, that's the end of the director's report.
Can I just say one thing about the June 9th versus 16th? What is the last day of school in Reading?
It's like the 20th. No, it's the week before. Oh yeah, we have it there somewhere. Well, it's either June 13th or June 20th. It's the 16th.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Because Cappy has young children.
Oh, okay.
He has young children. So can we,
Okay. How about I leave it to the discretion of the chair and fill him in on this conversation and get back to everybody?
okay, because I think what I heard is if it's the 9th, 3 of us can attend in person. 1 is available, but it would be
Via Zoom.
by Zoom.
Correct.
So the 4 of us are available.
I will
Yeah.
inform the chair of this discussion and let the chair make the decision as the chair is probably most impacted by those dates.
I'm-
Ice cream in a far, far away place.
Thank you.
And
Okay,
that's,
so approval of minutes from our April meeting. Any comments or corrections on the minutes?
You looked amazing as always. Thank you, Megan.
As always.
Right. Move to approve the minutes of the April 14th meeting as presented.
Second,
All those in favor? Minutes are approved. So it's future agenda items.
we will add the continued discussion of,
decertification
yes, the policy discussion. And I don't think there's any policies on top, but I will let you know if there are.
Motion to adjourn?
Second. All those in favor? Unanimous. Unanimous.
Sure.